We're out here at Team Tedder practice facility, LaPaglia's house, in SoCal. Trying to put in some laps, hanging out with Tedder. Martin was here earlier, got to ride with him quite a bit. Just preparing for the East Coast swing in about a week.
And how's everything going, getting ready for the East Coast round?
It's going really well. I didn't start riding until the beginning of January. So I had to try to cram in 4 or 5 months of training into like 2 months. So, and then not overdo it like I did last year, which was what ended up getting me Epstein-Barr. So, I had to be smart about it. And so far, like I feel pretty good. I made a lot of progress really quick. Speed's right there. The endurance is finally there. But it's, we're a week away, and I think it's only going to get better as we race. I feel good on the bike. Testing's great. Of course, the PC machine is just amazing. The whole team's been working really hard, and it shows, even on the West Coast with Joey Savacci now leading the points.
You say, you're a little bit behind on where you'd like to be. Where would you say percentage-wise you are?
I think like percentage-wise, like I said, my speed's 100%. I can go fast. That's no problem. I can lay down that lap. The 15, I don't have that 15 sprint like I wanted yet, but adrenaline is a hell of a drug, you know what I mean? You get to the race, I might just feel great the entire 15. So, sometimes you can race yourself into shape. I've been in worse shape and won a race. So when I filled in 2013, I was nowhere near ready and still won then. So, we're just going to get there and see, ride through it. And I know I might not be as prepared as I think I want to be, but I'm not overly prepared and drained and tired like I was last season.
Can you tell me a little more about the Epstein-Barr? When did you start those symptoms start coming around? When did you get diagnosed? When did it go away?
I'm a total meathead, like really hard-headed dude, and so like I was training last year, and coming into round one at Anaheim, I felt amazing, and you could tell by my interviews at Anaheim I was a little bit cocky. So I just felt so good there. I went and did the main event, and I kind of took it easy just to get the main out of the way, but I felt like I could do 2 main events that night, maybe even more. I was just felt great, like I never got tired, and I hadn't felt that good my whole career ever during a main event, because you're always giving 100%, so you should be tired at the end of the main. So that was the best I've ever felt. But I went to Phoenix and got a bad start and had to charge through the pack. Made a lot of passes, but I ended up 4th that night. But like the last 3 to 4 laps, like it was like I just all of a sudden had no energy. Like my muscles had no fuel in them. It wasn't like I was sore, but they just wouldn't fire. I couldn't stand up anymore. I could barely hold my arms up. It was just really weird. So got back to the truck, and Mitch and the guys were like, "Hey, did you get tired? It looks like you slowed down a little bit at the end." And I was like, No, I didn't get tired because I didn't get sore, so I didn't think I was tired. I was like, I don't know what happened. I'm just paced it a little bit, and then so that was like the first. I think Phoenix, the second round, was the first time I was like, "Hey, what's going on here?" The next week, right before A2, I had like a really stressful week training. It was supposed to be a pretty big week, but I missed a lot of the training that I was supposed to do on my program, and went into the weekend what I thought not prepared because I didn't do all the training during the week, but turns out I was a little bit more rested. I had one of my best performances, leading the main event all the way to the last lap when Cooper got me. But same thing there, last 5 laps, all of a sudden I had no intensity and I just didn't have that fire like I normally do, and there was literally it felt like there was no energy in my muscles, and on the cellular level, almost like the ATP, it was just I wasn't producing energy anymore, and so yeah, I ended up throwing out the anchor a little bit. Cooper was able to catch me, and I had no fight in me at the end, and he was able to get by me. So the next week I started charging hard again, and basically bottom line is went 3 or 4 weeks. I was like, what's going on here? Like I'm losing fitness really quick, so I tried working harder. Finally, I actually got sick. Like I was throwing up, had stomach pains, all that, like runny nose, everything. 1 week before A3, and they gave me like antibiotics and the Z-Pack and everything at the doctor, and I took that, and they said it should be good a week later, and a week later I wasn't good, so the doctors decided to check me out. They're like, "We want to test you for Epstein-Barr," and I was like, "No, that's bull. That's a sorry excuse, lazy riders use." And I never even believed it. I think it's like Bigfoot or unicorns or something. It doesn't even exist. But they ran the test. They're like, "Well, we'll find out." And a week later, right before San Diego, is when I got the affirmative that I did have the Epstein-Barr virus. Turns out I had caught it. For people that don't know, it's the virus that causes mono. So at some point in my life, I had caught mono and dealt with that. Never diagnosed with it, and it lays dormant in your system for a while. And when you either overtrain, overly stressed, tax out your body, anything like that, you can kill your immune system enough that virus is able to come back out and basically reoccur and just get a hold of you and drag you down.
When did you feel like you were over all that?
I'm still not over all that. I think like my body, even, the thing was like when I got it last year, I didn't know about it for so long. Like I was dealing with it and I was trying to push through it. I went from, I never drank coffee like my whole life. I hated the flavor of it. Now that during that time, I was like the coffee guy. Like all the time I was wanting to stop at Starbucks and get like a midday coffee and stuff and just try to, get an upper all the time. I lived off coffee and pre-workout, like literally all day. And I just wore out my body. I just couldn't get the energy that I wanted. I was trying to find it, and I just taxed my body so much that even now, a little systems are haywire and things just don't work the way they used to. I don't recover as fast. But I'm finally, after this whole summer off and numerous doctors, I'm finally on the good side of it. I'm starting to get things lined back up, and I can feel my body fending off the virus. And like before, I could barely do a cycle or a regular active day for a normal person. Like not even being an athlete, I couldn't handle that. My glands my neck would swell up. I'd, get sick. My eyes would burn. But now, I can ride. And if I have a long day riding and a hard day training, I can tell that I maybe overdid it. The symptoms start coming back. But at least now I know, and I'll just back it down. Like the next day I'll rest more or something like that. So I can be smarter about it. But I think, I'll have to deal with it, the rest of my life. There's numerous guys, moto guys that have dealt with it over time and they're fine racing with it still. So you just got to know what you're dealing with.
Does it affect the way that you approach, a normal day of workouts and stuff?
Like I said before, I was just a meathead. I'm a total meathead. Like I would be tired and I'd be in the gym and I'm like, man, I'm sleepy. I could just take a nap right here on the floor. Like, I don't know what's going on. And, my trainer would be like, oh, push through it. It's mental. I'm, all right, let's push through it. I didn't know like what enough soreness was. Like I'd get sore, but like when are you like, oh, I'm too sore? Like, as an athlete, you're going to be sore. Like you're working hard, and you're always taught that this guy that, works the hardest wins. And sometimes it's not that. My training partner last year, I know what he was putting in, and I overworked myself, and he ended up winning a championship. So, it's just sometimes you can overdo it. And I think from now on, I got to be smarter about it, which was hard, coming into the East Coast this year. I only had 2 months to prepare. Like I said, I had to fit 4 or 5 months of training into 2 months. And, that's hard to do, especially if you're healthy, especially with, dealing with this. So, but I'm good, I'm so pumped. I actually feel good, like not even just on a dirt bike, like being over this virus on this side of it, it brings my quality of life better. Like, this summer, like I was on the couch all summer, but I wasn't even able to enjoy that because I was so like run down and tired. Like I couldn't do anything, man. It was miserable. So, just being on a dirt bike and just, being healthy again is just amazing. And, now, like I said, I just got to be smarter about my training.
Right on. So can you tell me a little bit about your back surgery and how all that went?
The back surgery, I had actually hurt my back in like September last year before the season started. Well, I guess it's been 2 years now, September 2014. And I had this like sciatica pain. A lot of people are familiar with that. It starts in the hip, the nerve pain runs down your leg. And it wasn't from a crash or anything. It was just over time, riding. I woke up sore one day and it just got worse and worse. I took a month off before the season to see if I can get it to calm down. I did like the back injections, epidural injections, all that. Nothing seemed to really help. And so I knew I was just forced basically to get surgery at the end of the season. So, I kind of toughed out the whole season and was able to, kind of get through it, sort of. If it wasn't for the Epstein-Barr, I think I would have been able to tough out the pain. But the back injury is what probably drove me into the Epstein-Barr too. I was training way too hard, but at night, some nights my back hurt so bad I couldn't sleep. I had the pain pills and pain meds, but I wasn't trying to get hooked on those demons. So, I was trying to tough it out there. So, I'd go train all day and I wouldn't recover at night, and I was in so much pain all the time with the nerve pain. So, I just wore my body out with that. Was able to get the surgery in May, right after Vegas Supercross. So it was like, I think May 6th. Anyway, so they did like a lumbar fusion, an L5-S1 vertebrae. I was really nervous about it. As many people know, back surgeries are pretty sketchy. Only 50% of them are successful. even with a good surgeon. Fortunately, I had a really good neurosurgeon, Dr. Devin Binder in Fountain Valley. He was able to, do the surgery, and literally right away I woke up and it was like somebody flipped a switch. No more pain in the nerves, man. It was just amazing. I could feel my foot again and like move my toes. It was really cool feeling. He just took all the pressure off the nerve, opened up the pathways so that the nerves run down and stabilize the vertebrae and everything like that. And he actually released me to ride after 4 months. I took 6 months, tried riding again, but it was still dealing with Epstein-Barr. But yeah, now riding, it's pretty cool. Before my vertebrae, I guess they didn't form completely and they didn't hook right, so there was a lot of like free motion there, and I was relying on all the muscles to hold everything in place. So I would seat bounce stuff, and I never noticed it, but I was getting a little wiggle. Now that I'm fixed, like I can seat bounce a jump, and it's like pretty cool because it's like so stable. I can like literally feel like the tires so planted. And it's really rad to be able to just like, whoa, this is what normal must feel like. This is what I was missing out on my whole life. So yeah, it's pretty cool and it feels great. It doesn't hurt anymore. I'm just really glad I got it done.
Give us a quick what your expectations are going into the season.
Expect to win. I think, just with PC and myself in general, I mean, we're not going out there to try to get a third place. I know I'm capable of pulling off a win. I know the bike and the team's capable of pulling off a win. They've worked for it, and, I've worked for it. I know we're capable of doing it. We just got to put in the work, go out and get it done. You know what I mean? Try to have a little bit more fun this year, not wear myself out as much. And, it's gonna be a tough East Coast. There's a lot of guys this year that are going to East Coast. Fortunately, though, I love East Coast. I never really liked doing West Coast Supercross races. I grew up on the East Coast, the tackier dirt, all that, ruts. So I'm really happy to be able to do East Coast this year, and I'm just looking forward to it.